emotional. It's been emotional in different ways. Like, I've shed tears tonight, but I've laughed with you tonight. And I have really, really reconfirmed the
Hmm.
power of God.
Absolutely.
And there's just no way that he's not
Okay.
real. No way. So, yes, we do have to wrap it up. And I want to say thank you.
Thank you for
Thank you
having
for
me.
your yes. Thank you for your transparency, your braveness, um, your grace. Like you have style and grace that I know so many people admire. And I just want to thank you for that as well. Like even when we shed tears, you were still shining brightly like a diamond. Like I kept looking at your face, and you never ever, your shine
I
never went
appreciate
away is
that.
what I want to say. And yeah, you're just a phenomenal woman. Like I didn't know, I knew bits and pieces, but I did not have a clue how much you have gone through, Winter.
So it's one of those things where if you tell, it's oftentimes too much for people to digest, and so you tell it
Yeah,
in bits and pieces, right? In small
in
doses.
bits and pieces.
But a situation like this where I value transparency, and I value um, the art of disclosure. It's sometimes learning when to disclose. It's an art. And so on platforms like this or in
Yeah,
situations like this, I believe that disclosing certain things are important because you never know who's listening. Um,
you never know who's listening. There was someone on here, um, not on this one, the one that got dropped just before, and I wanted to get to their comment. She said, it was something she said about, wow, this really, really helped her. So, I mean, I don't know what her words were, but when I looked at her comment, it registered in my heart. And I said at the beginning of this, I said, when I do these trauma to triumphs, every time I do them, at least one person comes forth and they are in
Absolutely.
a better place in their hearts and in their spirits because of the journey that we took them on through these life stories. So there was a woman, um,
Mm.
she said she was triggered, but the trigger helped bring things out of her that needed to happen. And for that, I know that God is proud of what we've done tonight.
I
So
appreciate you
thank
for
you for
having
that.
me on. I'm always honored to share. I don't take it lightly. You just kind of never know, but sometimes I think it's important to share history. Um, because
Yeah.
it's easy for people to look at my page now, maybe, and you see, oh, she's on a TV show, she's on red carpets. You don't see the journey.
Yeah.
You don't
They
see the
don't see the
journey.
journey
And
though.
you'll find
They don't
yourself
see the journey.
envying where people are, but you don't know the journey it's taken to get them there. Um,
And most people, most normal human beings would not be able to endure a lot of the
I've
things that
lived
you
a
had to
thousand
endure.
lives, but at this point in the juncture, I tell people all the time, y'all, I'm 42 years old. I know I don't look like it, but I've lived a lot of life in 42 years
Oh,
of life. Um, and I hear people often complain when they go through things, but because I've been on both sides, and honestly, I feel like, I mean, the story has still been being written, but the level of the blessing still got to match them lows, and we ain't quite there yet. So at some point we
uh-huh.
will have a high that matches the lows that I've experienced. And it excites
Yeah.
me to go through some stuff.
Mhm.
I'll even say that with being
Mhm.
on Love and Marriage. Season one was crazy,
Yeah.
but season two was a blessing. God flipped that thing around so
Yeah.
heavily in my favor that I'm just like, y'all sweat the small stuff and y'all major in the minors too much for me. Because oftentimes that little bit of friction and that little bit of trouble that you go through, listen, Diamonds are birthed through pressure. And you're sweating the pressure when you
That's
should be
right.
excited about that diamond that comes as a result of that pressure.
You should be
Absolutely.
excited about
Does it
what's on
feel
the other
good?
side of that
No. Y'all,
pressure.
I've literally, the nights that I have cried, the depression that I've had to mitigate and grow through and try to figure out, and it was not fun. My body took a beating from the
Yeah.
stress of it all. I'll give one beautiful testimony before we close out. So I was diagnosed with 2 autoimmune diseases as a result of stress. And for
Mm.
years, I have gone to give blood work and go to all these dang appointments, and the blood work was just not great. Just wasn't. It would always indicate the factors that you would
Mm-hmm.
have that indicate these autoimmune disorders. Now, anyone that knows anything about autoimmune disorders, there is no cause. Doctors cannot tell you how you get them. It's just one day you have these symptoms and they diagnose you with something, but they don't have a root cause for it. Now, I like to tell people to
Mm.
explore holistic routes because a lot of these causes are rooted in emotional and mental traumas. September 2023. I was diagnosed with my second autoimmune disorder in 2012. For 11 years, I have
Mm.
had horrible blood work. Like, it just was not good. September 2023, I went and got my blood work done. All of it came back normal. All of it. All of it. For
All
both
of it?
disorders, normal. My blood work has not been normal. Hear me when I say this, in 22 years.
What do you think made the
Oh, I didn't
difference?
play about my healing.
That's right.
I
That's what
didn't
I
play about
wanted
my
you to
healing.
tell people.
It
That
will kill
stress will
you
kill
dead.
you.
I tell people all the time, I will
Yeah.
leave you to maintain my peace before I decide to keep you and put myself in the ground. There is nothing.
Yeah.
When I say I don't play about my peace, I don't play about my peace. You got to go. I don't care what it is. And so even when I went through this divorce, I mean, it wasn't pleasant to go through, but I grew through it. And I was
Right.
intentional about my healing. And some of us are too angry for me, but you ain't angry enough to heal. I was
See?
angry enough
That
to
part.
heal. And being angry enough to heal actually healed me.
I like that. I'm thinking your book needs to be something like Angry Enough to Heal. I'm gonna throw that in the hat for one of the potential book type because you're doing a book. I don't know when, how, but you have to. You don't have an idea of how many women you will inspire with everything we talked about tonight. Like just putting it out there in something where people can just
Yeah.
sit in their chair and read it. So you're gonna do
Yes,
it.
ma'am.
I don't know when, but you're gonna do it. I'm gonna
Yes,
hold you
ma'am.
accountable.
I will definitely follow
Yeah.
through on that.
Okay.
But I had to share that because
Yeah.
when I tell you the joy that I have had to know that that has been a long battle for me, and to get those results
Yes.
and them jokers to be what? I could have tore that whole lab up screaming and shouting and all the things.
Yeah.
Like, I can be churchy when I want to, but let me tell you what, I had to
Yeah.
give God some good praise over them test results because people don't understand how those types of diagnosis can impact and really debilitate your life. So God is good, y'all.
Yeah.
That's all I got, Terry. Thank you for
God
having
is
me on here.
good.
This has been great. I'm gonna collect these
Yes.
lives and send them to you.
I
All right. I
appreciate it
love
so
you.
much.
I love you
Okay.
guys. Have a great night.
Love you too. Thank you all so much for tuning in to Trauma to Triumph. I'll be back next Tuesday at 9 p.m. Hopefully it will work
Amen.
exactly as it should next
Thank you,
week.
Terry. Have a
So
good night,
thank you,
guys.
Winter.